Welcome to San Miguel TV, yo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a special San Miguel TV, man. I'm glad I did this. I'm revealing my DNA results live, but before I do that, let me do this. Just sit back and Dominicans are here. Anyways, y'all, welcome, man. This is San Miguel TV. Glad to be here, back again. Um, whoever's on, anybody can actually join tonight. It's not that serious. Definitely want to get into a little bit of my history in in the world, man, in this life. Who is San Miguel of San Miguel TV? My real name is actually Miguel, believe it or not. Last name Sanchez. For those that are wondering, oh, why does he call himself San Miguel? He thinks he's a saint. San Miguel, San Pedro, San Francisco, San Diego. Listen, man, I am Miguel Sanchez, born in Flushing, Queens, New York City, in the 80s. I'm an 80s baby. I'm a 90s kid. But where I'm actually from, what I thought I was from originally, I mean, this is a fact. This is not what I thought, but what is a Dominican, right? So my parents are from the Dominican Republic. I am first generation, born in the United States. Out of my immediate family, me and my brother, we were both born in Flushing, New York. I believe my brother was born in Elmhurst. I was born in Flushing Hospital, Queens, baby. Um, I want to reveal my DNA results, but I kind of want to lead it up, hype it up a little bit for y'all. Um, what is the Dominican? I guess we can go into some of those statistics online just to be accurate. Dominican DNA. Let's see what comes up, and I'll share my screen in a minute. My family comes from a city called Moca, Moca. Moca. The word mocha could mean fly, literally a fly, a mocha. But also mocha is, I believe, a bean, a type of bean. Mocha is like a brownish. Am I wrong on that? I'm gonna sound so stupid because I mean that's Mocha, but the city is called Moca, the city in Dominican Republic. So let's just look that up. Mocha City in La República Dominicana. And you know what's the landmark that's found there is a church. It's a Catholic church. Yeah, Mocha is where my parents are from. Welcome inside the lines. Welcome, sir. This is a very special San Miguel TV broadcast. Hola, A Sharp. A Sharp is in the house. All right, so let's just share the screen. Um, I'll stop sharing Kramer and Seinfeld, and I'll present here. I guess I'll just go into the city of Mocha real quick, and then I'll go into the DNA statistics of the Dominican Republic and what we are. Yeah, but I welcome y'all, man. I see TMT in the house, Mister Gerald. Welcome, sir. Yeah, welcome to everybody, man. This is gonna be a good one here. Just trying to focus on something um important and real in my life, which is where I come from, who I am. I actually used to live in this city called Mocha. My mother died in Dominican Republic when I was 17 months old. I was a year and 5 months old. It was September 15th of 1985. I was barely learning how to walk, and we were on vacation. And my father was driving on a very badly paved highway. And he just recently opened up to me about this because my father was driving and crashed the day that my mother died. And she died out here in Dominican Republic. Even though I was born in New York City, at that time, of course, things were topsy turvy. Who's gonna be my guardian? I ended up becoming, or ended up having a guardian in my oldest aunt on my father's side, my father's oldest sister, who lived in Mocha, who ran a bakery. Baked cakes. She made big cakes for weddings, as big as your desktop, as big as your dresser drawer. She made a cake that long, and she owned a pizza shop. So she has some money in the city called Mocha. As far back as my memory could go, I was 4 years old here, and my great aunt had custody of me and my brother. And if you look at the picture, the thumbnail, I'm 4 years old in that picture, and my brother must be five, because he was about 17 months older than me, almost 2 years. So he was either five or six, and we're living in a kind of suburban town called Mocha. So let's read a little bit about it. Um, let me see. I hope that's. Well, let me take myself out of here so it could blow up more, or I would just zoom in like this, and all is good in the world. It says Mocha is the capital of Espaillat province in the Cibao. So I'm from the Cibao region of the Dominican Republic. Right. So this is north. The closest airport would be Puerto Plata. The capital is Santo Domingo, which is about 3 hours away. That's almost the drive. That's about the drive that the distance from Orlando to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It's about 3 hours. That I believe that's 300 miles, pretty much, something like that. I don't know if I'm underestimating that. That means you're going 100 miles an hour. So, but yeah, something around that, um, because I could get to Fort Lauderdale in like 2 hours and 45 minutes. I could get to Miami. It depends what part of Miami, in about 3 hours and change. Um, from Santo Domingo to Mocha is about a 3 hour, 2 hour, 45-minute drive down some very unkept highways and roadways, and you're going through the campos, through the Cibao. Um, it's a very Catholic town, and 80% of Dominicans, about 80% of the people in Dominican Republic are Catholic. I believe 12% are Protestant, and the rest is a mix of whatever, everything else. But the majority of the people in Dominican Republic, I mean, obviously they're Catholic. Why? We could go into the history of that. I'm not really going to do all of that. That's not really necessary. But I remember seeing this great church here, La Iglesia del Sagrado Corazón de Jesús. So this is called the Church of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. That's how you interpret that in Spanish. It's beautiful. Like, this town is actually really, really nice. But yeah, welcome to Abu, man. Abu is a big contributor. It's gonna be a big contributor to this video, because he put me on to some things that I kind of want to throw out there, so you guys could see what's going on in the Hebrew Israelite community with people like Gorilla Hebrew. And I mean, myself, I'm not scared to show my DNA, man. I know there's people out there they don't want to give any ground for the enemy to try to use something against them. Listen, I could give two shits about what they're gonna do with this information that's about to come out. This is who I am, and I don't represent any of the things that these people as a whole, these ethnic groups, have done in the past. I don't represent that. I don't have to pay for anything, because people are going to come out and say all types of things. San Miguel, and I'm not going to be able to give you my haplogroup. Catch part 2 of this when I do my 23andMe. But these are my DNA results from my ancestry. So they don't give you your Y DNA, your patrilineal DNA. They don't give you your matrilineal DNA, as some African DNA platforms will do, where they'll trace that. There's a way to do all of that. Your matrilineal and patrilineal. But yeah, man, much love to Abu Kamer. Oh no, not at all, man. The Christians are not my enemies, man. not at all. Like maybe the Westboro Baptist Church, people like that. But other than that, I'm a friend of you guys, man. I was baptized at Los Dolores Church in Corona, Queens. Let's pop that up. Before we get to Mocha, I mean, we're already there. We don't have to do that too much. You know what? Maybe I'll keep that up, or it'll be in the history. But let's look at Our Lady of Sorrows, Los Dolores Church in Corona, Queens. This is where I was baptized. Oh man, I wish I could show you my baptism photo. I could barely walk, y'all, and I was being baptized, man. I could barely walk. But this is Our Lady of Sorrows in Corona, Queens, man. It's bro, I have a beautiful photo, and this is where my brother, who's in the photo of the thumbnail, my brother passed away in 2009 when I was still in this cult. What propelled this whole platform, San Miguel TV, was pretty much the cult. My brother was totally against it, and he ended up passing away. And I used to think that was judgment and punishment from God. And he was buried here, man. They did not buried, but they did the wake and the whole service. This is in Corona, Queens, Our Lady of Sorrows Church. In Spanish, it's called Los Dolores. My first job was here, man. Babysitting. I used to babysit kids that over the summer. This was like a summer program that I used to work through the church, and I cannot pull up no W-2s on this, my friends, or none of that. But this was where my first job was at. It was Our Lady of Sorrows Church in Corona, Queens, Los Dolores. Let me show you a little bit more of that. I wish I was better prepared for this. I'm stupid for not being better prepared for this. But yeah, that's not it. None of that is it right there. But I would have loved to show you my baptism photo. That's a classic photo of my family. I'm wearing all white. I'm a little cute baby and shit with big cheeks. I don't know. I was chubby actually back then. Oh, this is a block right here for sure. That is 37th Avenue and like 103rd Street, 102nd Street. Home of the Beatnuts. If you know anything about hip hop, I used to see Juju from the Beatnuts all the time. There's a lot of Dominicans in this area for some reason. Um, but yeah, this is it right here. This is the daycare. This is where we used to watch the kids inside that building. You can see some kids there. It's beautiful. But yeah, let's just leave it at that. As far as that goes, because that's some cool little history about myself. Our Lady of Sorrows Church, man. Some cool stuff there. But yeah, man. Abu Kamar, man, I'm glad you're here. I want to get you on my live so we can talk and go into who you are, because you're a very important part of this movement. Whether it's for or against whatever the Hebrew Israelites are trying to do, you're a very important piece to this movement, regardless. The community, Abu is, um, man, Abu Kamar, man. What can I say? I mean, let me just leave it at that. I mean, I'll definitely talk more about you, sir, and I appreciate you coming on. Welcome to everybody that's on. Most excellent Theophilus. Welcome, grace and peace, and greetings and salutations. And I'm gonna show my DNA in a minute. Just relax. So let's go back to Mocha. As far back as my memory could go, man. You know, let's read about the history of Mocha real quick. It said at the time of its colonization, there's some more beautiful pictures there, but the history of it, it says at the time of its colonization by the Spanish, what is now Mocha was part of the chiefdom of Magua. Mocha was founded in 1780. In 1845, Mocha is designated common of the Department of La Vega. Then, in its political division, it becomes the head municipality of the Espaillat province. This is rich history right here. And look at some of the people of Mocha. Look, this is some of my peoples right here, man. You can see they kind of look like me and shit. They resemble Mr. San Miguel right here. These are some Mocanos. They call them Mocanos. You heard? People right here, man. Some beautiful people right there. How's the economy doing, man? I mean, we're bordering a third world country in Haiti, and some of them come in and work hard for less, and they take our jobs, and we get mad, and then there's back and forth. They learn how to speak Spanish, they know how to speak Creole, and they be outdoing us sometimes. I gotta say that. My wife is Haitian. My kids are half Haitian, half Dominican. But my wife was also born in well, she was born in Brooklyn, but she's pretty much, represents Queens. She was born out in Brooklyn. Um, but yeah, I mean, we can read a lot about these different things when it comes to Dominican Republic. Everybody knows we got our plátanos. That's our thing. We got our yams, our bananas, our beans. We love beans. We love coffee. We love lemons, papaya, cassava, yuca. This is some of our, you know, common plates. They have something called tres golpes. Puerto Ricans do this too. Um, Dominicans have their own style where they'll do a mango, which is boiled and mashed plantains, which they'll put oil, butter, red onions. Sometimes they'll put mozzarella cheese in it. They'll fry this frying cheese, and like this cheese that's like rubber, man. I ate that this morning. Actually, it's been a while since I ate that. Not something you want to do every month, or definitely not every week, but it's something you want to try at least once in your life. They don't do much spicy things in Dominican Republic, which is opposite of Haiti. Haitians love spice, and in the Latin American community, or in the Latin community, um, which includes Brazilians, and Mexicans and Peruvians and everybody, South Central America, and the Caribbean Hispanics. The Caribbean Hispanics, we don't do spice, if you notice that. We do not do spice. Look at the variety of plants and vegetables that we like. We like tomatoes. We like acidity. We like acidic stuff. We like our vinegar. We like tomatoes. We want cabbage, peppers. We love cabbage, man. There's something called a chimi. If you want a little taste of Dominican Republic, try a chimi, which is a hoagie with steak, like some really good steak that's been fried on a cast iron, you know, um, frying pan. Some carne de res, they call it. Like, it's good beef, good steak, not no bullshit ground beef, but the steak. They cut that up. They throw that in a hoagie with cabbage and mayo ketchup. Mayo ketchup is ketchup and mayonnaise mixed. That's a Dominican creation, man. One thing that we do differently about it, though, um, what I would used to do with my mayo ketchup, I will put ketchup, mayonnaise, and lemon in it and mix it. Ketchup, mayonnaise, and lemon. And you use that as a sauce to dip your plantains. We love our tostones, our fried plantains. I love the sweet plantains, which I call plátano mafrito or plátano maduro. Plátano madulce would be the sweet ones. Frito, I believe, is also the hard ones. I get confused about it because people call it different things. It's tostones, pretty much. Tostones are like very dry, so you want to put some little bit of salt to it. It's pretty much tasteless. But if you put some salt and you get some good sauce with it, oh man, that's a bomb. But I see a lot of people here. A Stop says, I agree. Abu has done a lot of research. Yeah, Abu is top notch, man. A1. My barber is Dominican. That's one thing we do too, man. We're your Uber drivers, and we're your barbers, and we'll do your hair and shit. Like when women, and like my daughter and my my wife, they'll go to this Dominican salons and they'll do your eyebrows and shit. And they'll dance bachata while they're doing all of that too. That's our thing. We do merengue, bachata, perico ripiao is very Dominican. I tend to like more Puerto Rican music and Cuban music. That's just how I get down. I love me some Hector Lavoe and Frankie Ruiz. I love salsa, um, which comes from something called rumba y plena. It comes and it's a mixture. It's salsa. That's why it's salsa. It's a mixture. It's like a gumbo of music, which is mixed with African instruments, Spanish instruments, and it combines to make such a beautiful sound. I love salsa. I love salsa, I think, better than merengue, but then merengue comes number two. And that's a Dominican thing for sure. So, but that's the Caribbean Hispanics. We don't do spice. We play baseball and basketball too. And what's crazy is that Haitians, right in the same island, they play soccer. Dominicans don't play soccer, man. But you go down to Colombia or Peru, Mexico, Guatemala, Brazil. Brazil be killing it. Soccer all day, no hands. That's what they do. We do baseball. Now, you want to talk about music? I'll give it up to the Puerto Ricans and the Cubans. And we talk about baseball, Dominican Republic. We run the baseball game. Felipe Alou, Moises Alou, Manny Ramirez, Pedro Martinez, Big Papi Ortiz. Bro, let me go down the line and explain to you how dope we are as a fucking people when it comes to baseball. Venezuelans are doing their thing too. Venezuela is really good. Japan is great when it comes to baseball too. Mexico has a baseball team. They don't, and Mexicans are lower in stature than Dominicans. I'm 6 feet tall. The average Mexican is like 5'5". They're more indigenous, I'll show you my DNA in a minute. I'll show you that the indigenous that I have would come from the Arawak, Peru, Bolivia, South America. That's where the Arawak Indians, they started there. Then the Arawak Indians migrated up north into the Caribbeans, but there were other Native Americans in Florida, the Miami Indians and the Carib Indians, that also mixed in and clashed. So history is not so easy to explain. And I'm not here to tell you 100% what I am, 100% that I'm this and I'm that. That's not what this is about. Science doesn't do that. DNA evidence doesn't do that. I hope that you guys believe somewhat in DNA evidence, because it's a kind of important if you are in an identity cult claiming that you're somebody based, that your identity is the most important thing when it comes to your salvation. Edwin Kelly, man, welcome, sir. And Edwin Kelly will tell you straight up, man, like, you don't have to be a a person like a Hebrew Israelite. It's not all about identity. You can believe in God, and your race or your ethnicity has nothing to do with any of that. So this is not, it doesn't matter, man. Like, this has nothing to do with any of that. What's good? 93 Fortune in the house. Welcome, sir. But let's just dive into it, man. I mean, I wanted to give you a history of Dominican Republic for sure. I mean, if you look at the people in the picture, and really, if you look at the average Dominican, let me show you a different screen here. You have a good percentage of Afro Dominicans, Africans. It's a good percentage there, but it's a mixed race that shares the majority, or that is the majority of the population. I believe that in the United States, 9% of the population is a mixed race. In Dominican Republic, it's like 80% of the population is considered a mixed race. It's something like that. What's good, man? You're on San Miguel TV. What's popping, sir? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up? You can hear me?
Yes, sir. Oh man, it's good to hear your voice, bro. It's been a while. How you doing?
I'm good. I was gonna say what's up my I was gonna say what's up my N word, but that's pending depending on your results.
Yes. I mean, how much do I have to make me one? Because they were saying Barack Obama was good enough to go, because did you see him play basketball? Barack Obama got to be black.
Well, all you need is 1%, and you got to be able to shoot 3-shotter. You got to be able to get a 3.
You ever heard of the 1-drop rule?
Well, yeah, that ain't up to us. That's up to Billy Bob and them. That's they determination.
Yeah, it's funny though how Hebrew Israelites they kind of like are like their whole mind state goes like with that 1-drop rule. Like if you even have a little bit of black in you, you're black and you ain't no good. Well, I mean that's how the racists used to say. You black and you ain't no good. They'll say, oh, you a little bit of black. We just gonna take you, and this is the race Olympics and shit. Like come on, they want to take Eminem and give away O.J. Simpson.
Or the white folks gonna say, "Can your neck fit in this noose? If so, your neck." No.
If you had to, if there was a race Olympics, who would you take? Big Pun, Hector Lavoe, Mark Anthony?
Big Pun off the top. We take a Big Pun for the first couple years they here. For the last couple years, we can get him because we know we wasn't gonna have him long.
Well, who you gonna take from the white community, man? Tell me right now. Bill Burr, Elvis Presley, Eminem. Tell me who.
Oh man, Elvis Presley is that dude for them, man. They love him.
Oh my God.
Bill Burr is funny.
Billy Bob Thornton he's a real ass dude right there.
Yeah, he's a. I don't know if this is appropriate to even say, but I don't want to be giving nobody ammo. Billy Bob Thornton, man. You seen Monsters Ball?
I was just thinking about Halle Berry. I just saw something recently about her, man. Yeah, man.
She did a movie. She did another graphic movie. We'll talk about that off camera.
please send me that link. But yeah, man. Peace to everybody that's on here, man. So I'm about to reveal my results. But I wanted to show pretty much that in the Dominican Republic, this is pretty much like what you're gonna see with my results. The average Dominican DNA of the founder population is estimated to be 73% European, 10% Native, and 17% African. After the Haitian, so that was back then. After the Haitian and Afro-Caribbean migrations, the overall percentage changed to 57% European, 8% Native, and 35% African. It's a good little mix there. So, all right, I'm going to actually just go ahead and share the screen. And then I'm going to go into Gorilla Hebrew's DNA result. I don't have a haplogroup. I didn't get all of that information.
Yeah, you know we love that. What test did you do?
It's the myancestry.com.
I'm gonna buy you a 23andMe. We're gonna do a part 2, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do for sure. But this is the best I got right now, man. All right, so this is the estimate, y'all. I mean, they got the map over here on the left side. I'm gonna try to zoom in so y'all can see. Your DNA looks most like DNA from these 17 world regions. So, and also, just so y'all know, because you got people like Gorilla Hebrew, who I've done a live with before. He said, when I was talking about science and DNA and all this stuff, his way of downplaying DNA was by saying how DNA results can change over time. And when he asked me, he's like, did your DNA results change by percentage at any time over these years? And I told him, I was like, yeah, it changed slightly. And he was like, you see, it's not 100%. And there's nothing that's 100%. This is better than your 12 tribes breakdown about Judah mourneth and the gates thereof languish. And he's going to let his hands be sufficient for him. And Issachar is a strong ass. That means that they're the Mexicans. That's not good enough, man. This is a lot more accurate than some damn interpretation of a scripture to try to prove your ethnicity, man. If you want to prove who you are, you're making a genetic claim. I am this and I am that. I'm an Ephraimite, like Katazah from ISUPK. I'm an Ephraimite. You're going to learn today, polite. How can you prove that? It's all about faith with these guys. This doesn't take faith. And the reason why the DNA results might change a little bit is because there's more information available later as time goes by. There's a bigger sample size now that they have available in certain countries that they didn't have before. So it might change slightly because there's more information available, just like in a case, like in a murder case, there's cold cases that be 20 years long and they don't know who the killer is, or they don't know shit, or they have very little evidence, and they might assume something based on some evidence, and then more evidence comes and the picture becomes clearer. So it ain't like my DNA evidence changed where I was 25% Spanish and now I'm fucking 50% Chinese or Asian. That's not how it works. But a person like I was about to say, a person like Gorilla Hebrew would say, yeah, well, because it changes, it's not accurate and you can't rely on it. And here's a result, some story that happened where this DNA location, this location that was taking DNA samples, was found out to be lying because some people put the DNA of a dog, they swabbed the dog's mouth and put that back and send it back to the lab, and they said that the dog was, I mean, they didn't know it was a dog, but they said it's 50% Native American or some shit like that. And it was a dog. Like they literally swabbed the dog. Now, when it comes to locations like that, they weren't doing the science. So you can't get mad at the science. You got to get mad at the location for lying to people and taking their money and not doing the science. When you do the science, it works. That's like me saying to, because Gorilla Hebrew brought that up and was like, oh, there was a DNA location that they said that the dog was 50% Native American, the dog. And I remember saying, well, I mean, there's a location that calls themselves the Israelites, and it's called the ICGJC, and I used to be in there. You don't believe that they're the truth. So does that mean that all Israelites are wrong because the ICGJC is wrong? No. What? Well, why are they not the truth then, Gorilla Hebrew? Oh, because they're not using the Bible. Okay, so the location that was saying that they're using DNA, they wasn't doing the science. So they were claiming to be doing the science and they didn't do it right. And now you're using that as an excuse for why DNA evidence is incorrect. I could just as well, might as well say the Hebrew Israelite doctrine is incorrect because the ICGJC preaches it wrong and they're false. It's the same logic. So no, man, this DNA evidence, like, just so y'all know, DNA evidence is accurate as fuck right now, and it's getting better as the years go by. They're not going to be able to tell me that I'm from the tribe of Simeon. That's like, according to the Israelites, they say it's the father seed. There's no father seed in science. That doesn't make sense. There's no seed. We're not fruits. We're not oranges. Women are not earth, and we're not representative of seed planters. And, because they'll tell you wherever you plant an orange seed, there's always an orange going to come up. An orange tree is going to come up. So because the woman represents the earth, it's the father seed is what you got to go by, brother. Because you plant an apple seed in China, you plant an apple seed in America, it's going to be apples that come up no matter what. That's their logic. This shit is insane. But
DNA calls that Y DNA. That's called paternal DNA in DNA.
You got the paternal DNA, right? I wish I would have did that. And I'm about to get my father to do his DNA test too. Because if I
got a bad too. I got a bad too.
Huh? What you say?
I said I got to bat you two now. 223 means it's on sale.
Nah, I'm gonna get him to. He's gonna do that on his own. I was telling him, I was like, if you do your DNA test, that's gonna rule out, what you are, and I'll know what my mother is, by default.
Tell him any kids he found on there, they grown now. He ain't got to get no back pay on that.
Yeah, man, I don't found some cousins and second cousins that hit me up on there. Some cousins that don't know who their parents are hitting me up and asking me if I know Fernando, and I'm like, I don't know.
The funny thing is when people take the test and they find out that they're donor babies. A lot of donor babies find out they got half siblings and stuff because they're basically were donated sperm.
Right. That's crazy. That's crazy. I want to show this real quick. This actually comes from Dominican Republic. This is a little bottle. It used to have something called it's Mama Juana is what it is. But it used to have these sticks in there that are like natural roots and like tree bark, shit that tastes like licorice, all types of stuff. You can look it up. But this actually came from the Dominican Republic, and it's something called Mama Juana. And this is the island right there. You can see it. It lists certain cities like Sosua, Samana, Santo Domingo, and then the back of it is dope too because it says baseball and merengue, and it has the maracas and shit. It has a baseball, a baseball glove, a bat. This is a pretty dope gift I got from somebody that came from Dominican Republic. Um, but I lived there. I went to kindergarten in Dominican Republic after Mom Dukes passed away. I was floating around a little bit. I ended up in Mocha for 2 years between the ages of 4 and 6. So from 1988 to 1990, I was in Dominican Republic, and I came back to New York City in 1990. It wasn't until the year 2004 that in Orlando, Florida, I came upon the Hebrew Israelites, but they've been doing their thing in the 80s, talking about this and that, and Masha's King David, Jesus Christ is going to come back in the year 2000, all that crazy shit. But yeah, man, Terrell, my brother, welcome. We're not fruit. We're not apples and oranges. For real. Mama Juana is good for everything. Yeah, you don't have to put alcohol in Mama Juana. So you can, yeah, they be saying that shit's a cure for all types of shit. There's a lot of pseudo stuff that goes behind that too. But that's something that I don't see bottled out here in the United States. I should bottle that up and patent it. Make a Mama Juana drink and tell people that shit's gonna, it's a natural aphrodisiac because it really is. Effing always drinking that. Oh yeah, that's right. He's Dominican. All right, but yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's get right back into it. So I'm 21% Spanish. So this has changed over the years, man. I used to be 25% Spanish and like 22% Portuguese. And so it's changed little by little. And the reason for that is because more samples are available as time goes by, just like your phone gets better as time goes by. Technology gets better, information becomes more available, cold cases get cracked, things open up, things are now, because truth is tentative, information is tentative, knowledge is tentative. If you give it time, sometimes you got to wait and things will reveal itself on its own. But this is not inaccurate to where it's telling me that I'm, 97% Ukrainian or some shit, like it's not like that. And then it's going to say, oh, no, actually, we were wrong. You're actually 55% Senegalese. It's not like that. But yeah, here we go. And the world map, I like too how they go all throughout the world to show you and highlight the little different spots. Yo, the Ireland shit went up, man. These motherfuckers like this nigga's a drinker, man. See, this is what explains all of that. I used to always say Dominicans are the Irish of the Latin world. The Dominicans are the Irish people of the of the Hispanic community. We drink, baby. But yeah, so 21% Spanish. Let's click on that real quick. Real close to Portuguese, to Portugal. Portuguese and Spanish both come from Latin. Only don't all people in South Central America, like all the what you call Hispanics, are also called Latin. So Hispanics, everybody that you consider Hispanic is also called a Latin person. The only people that are not Hispanics but are Latin in South America, Central America, and this side of the world are Brazilians. They're not Hispanics, but they are Latinos. So let's get that straight. A lot of people don't know that. So yeah, that's Spain, man. I'm 21% Spanish, also found in Portugal.
So you
21%.
equally both, pretty much, both Spanish and Portuguese.
Yeah. Yeah, right there. It's right next to this is the Iberia Peninsula. So that's 42% right away. Boom. Iberian Peninsula, man. This is not far from the Straits of Gibraltar that lead into Morocco and into Africa. My grandmother took this trip before. My grandmother showed me her passport, man. And I was like, yo, you been to Morocco? And she told me, she's like, yeah, I went through down here. She literally went through the Straits of Gibraltar, which you have to cross like on a ferry, like how you do in Staten Island to get from Manhattan to Staten Island and shit. It's like a little, type of water vessel and shit, some boat or whatever.
I
To get
imagine you could swim though, right?
oh, man, come on. That looks closer than Miami, Cuba and shit. Like there's motherfuckers that swim to Miami from Cuba.
How you think the
And
Moors got over there? They had to have, well, they had boats.
yeah, man, for sure. Yeah. This is the Mediterranean Sea coming out through these little straits of Gibraltar. This is what we're seeing here when you go to the right, to the east, you see? Monaco, Malta, Italy, there's the boot, Sicily. This is the Mediterranean. Look at Tunisia. Look how this whole area here, you have to be very careful what you say about, oh, we're Africans. If you're from Africa, you must be black. French
Southern
Montana
Europe.
is African.
That's Southern Europe. They call that tropical Europe.
Yeah, this is the Mediterranean. This is Northern Africa. These are not sub-Saharan Africans, pretty much. But so you can see that I have also some African, and I would imagine that my ancestors were traveling from that whole region right into that north part of Africa, Senegal. Look at how the next one is. I'm 9% Senegalese now. I know a lot about Senegal. They have great food. They have a crazy dance too. That's like it's like a training, like it's like martial arts. Like the way like their dance is amazing. Um, that's Senegal. It says
They had a
primarily located.
Portuguese history too. Portuguese was
Yeah,
in
they
Senegal.
do. They do for sure.
Portuguese Jews.
The Portuguese Jews. So I might not be a black Hebrew Israelite, but I might be a Portuguese Jew. I mean, there's actually, if you look, you go down my DNA results, just to give you a little spoiler, it says that I'm 1% Jewish here. Primarily located in Belarus, Hungary, Lithuania, whatever, Latvia, Moldova, Poland, Romania, Ukraine. Oh, Ukraine. The brother was telling me about earlier. He was like, brother, you're gonna come up 97% Ukrainian. Joking. Yeah, so there's a lot of Jewish people. Look at the whole area where my ancestry comes from. I mean, it's clear right there. I should have did this. I should have pulled up my wife's DNA results too, but she probably wouldn't have been too cool with that. But her whole DNA is mostly Togo, Benin, Nigeria. It's sub-Saharan Africa. She's like 90% African, and it's evident.
Yeah, you like 20% African altogether. If you count it all, you should count it
Yeah,
all.
yeah. If you count it all, Senegal is 9%. You got Cameroon, Congo, and the Western Bantu. That's 4.
So that's
So together
13.
that's 13. You got Northern Africa's 4. That's 17.
Mm-hmm.
Benin and Togo's 2. That's 19. Mali's 1. That's 20.
Yep. So you pretty much
Yeah.
1/5 African, a fifth of
Yeah,
you.
there you go. Exactly a fifth. See, I used to think I was a quarter. They used to be like 23% African. So that's changed a little bit.
It
Now
might be different on the 23andMe though. So you roughly
yeah,
the same.
yeah. But so I got some indigenous too. I got indigenous Haiti and Dominican Republic. that's up there. And it's relevant and significant, pretty much. If you want to talk about indigenous, because you could talk about European or white, Caucasian, and then you could say black or African. So I'm both of those, obviously, and then I'm also indigenous. So I have, and then I got 6% French too. Jesus, that went up a little bit. So yeah, so I'm about 48% European now when you count the French. With the 6%, now that's 54% European. Where's Basque at? That's
That should be
France.
like
Okay.
France.
Yeah. So now that's, yeah, that's about, yeah. I always knew I was like 2/3 European or something like that. I'm even Wales. Jesus Christ. Um, Cameroon, Congo, Western Bantu, Northern Africa. Yeah, it's a good mix. I want to get to the indigenous real quick though, because it says I'm 9% Haitian and Dominican, and then you might as well just add that in with what it says here
Add in the
about,
Puerto Rican too.
yeah, Puerto Rican, because it does say that, and indigenous Bolivian, Peruvian. So yeah, I'm 12% indigenous according to this right here, which is just enough to show in your phenotype. You have to have at least 12% of something for it to show in your phenotype. And you could probably barely see that. You can see that more in my mother. I wonder how much of this indigenous comes from my mother than my father, because my father looked more Spaniard. He has blue eyes. My mother she looked more like Pocahontas and shit. You know, she's a little browner, lanky, that long dark hair, so I could imagine that my mother was probably more indigenous, like 20% indigenous. Like it was more obvious when you look at her for sure.
So you
But
more
when you look at
African
me,
than indigenous.
I'm more African. I'm more African than indigenous for sure. And I'm sure my mother was too, but I would love to know like who I got what from. I would love to know that. But yeah, so this is France. Okay, so Basque, it says primarily located in Spain, also found in France. Oh no, it borders both. Okay. Yeah, of course. Of course, that's gonna be all up in the mix. Wales. Oh, hold on. I skipped Northern Africa. Did I skip Northern Africa? Yeah, and Cameroon. Yeah, let me just click on that real quick because I like how it shows you like some pictures. It gives you some information. Oh, no, they want to do that. Let me see what y'all seeing. Okay, never mind. My DNA results, y'all. Primarily located in Angola, Cameroon, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Namibia, Republic of the Congo, and Zambia. That's 4%. So now we're getting down to stuff that you're not really gonna see in my phenotype. You're not really gonna see a lot of this, but collectively, all of this shit makes who I am. I even got Mali. That's where Mansa Musa was from, I believe, right? That Mali Empire. And he had a brother. Mansa Musa had a brother named Abu Kamr, I believe. You ever heard of Abu Kamr?
Oh, I thought you was joking because that's Abu in the chat. Abu name. Abu.
Yeah, no, but I
Oh, that's
think
where he took
that's
that name
actually
from, huh?
I think that's actually true. I think because Mali is where Mansa Musa was from, I believe. Let me look that up.
Yeah, yeah. Timbuktu.
So if we look up Mansa Musa's brother Abu, but it's spelled different. Kamr is spelled with an E or maybe with no A. Oh, no. Abu Bakr, not Abu Kamr, Abu Bakr. So let me just share that real quick because I find that kind of interesting. I just want to point that out because Abu is very interesting figure in the Hebrew Israelite community. And shout out to Abu for putting out for going to the graveyard to the cemetery where Masha was buried at. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't, but yeah, go show what you got to show, my brother.
So Abu Bakr, this is what I was trying to show right here, was known as Bata Mandi Bori in oral tradition, was the fifth Mansa of the Mali Empire, reigning during 13th century. Yeah, so I got Abu Bakr confused with Abu Kamr. Um, but yeah, it's all related to Mali. It's all really interesting, man. But look at this though, man. Fortune. I was in the ICGJC. I got rank as a captain. I would salute the Torah. I would go up there on the Sabbath day. I had, I was like supposed to be inspired by God in there. But how do they know that I'm not an Edomite or something? Based on look at my DNA results. I mean, based on this, who knows what I am? I mean, there's a lot to say, and you got people in the ISUPK like Captain Kataza, who looks very white, and I forget what he is, but I've seen a picture of his father. His father actually looks it looks browner than my father. I'll tell you that. But I mean that dude looks reddish and ruddy like Esau, and that's people that they let in the congregation, and it's like sometimes they'll let people in just because they believe. It don't even matter. They're not gonna check your DNA results. That doesn't even matter to these guys.
And they have no way of checking people's pedigree. They just believe like if it's in your spirit and you agree with
Yeah.
the doctrine.
I mean,
then
even
you-
with Christians, like we could even bring this up with Christians, anybody that believes in the Bible. If you believe that Jesus Christ resurrected from the dead, you can't really prove that. I've seen Christians actually try to go to bat and try to show, well, why would this happen and why this and that and that. But individually, you as a Christian, you can't prove that Jesus Christ resurrected from the dead. That is actually an extraordinary claim. It's not like you saying that, you saw your uncle fucking Cephas at the Dollar General or something. That's not something I'm not going to be like, oh, that sounds crazy. I don't believe you. That's like, okay, you saw your uncle at the Walmart or whatever. But if your uncle died and then you saw him at the Walmart after he died, now I'm going to question there's something wrong here. Something's going on. Maybe you're confused. So, but not to get on Christians. That's they're going to do what they do. But I mean, it's the same thing as a Hebrew Israelite. It's like they believe they're Ephraimites based on an interpretation of a scripture. Then they try to go into archaeology, the Lost Luna Stone, the Father Nazario stones, and all this bullshit that they turn into pseudo archaeology.
You put that to bed, right, with the Father Nazario, right?
Oh, I was just thinking about how I never put that out. I never really put that interview out because I'm trying to go to Puerto Rico and actually interview this guy in person.
And he's
Um,
aware of what is being done with his research and information on their behalf, right?
he's aware of what?
He's aware of what they are doing with his research and information, like what they're trying to do with his information to say that it's evidence for their doctrine. He's aware of that.
I told him. I'm pretty sure he's aware, but I told him because he was trying to tell me that he doesn't really want to say too much about the IUIC and these people because they treated him so nice that he doesn't want to blah blah blah. But then at the same time, he's saying, I got hit up by the History Channel, ancient aliens, and all of this. And he's like, I refuse to do that because it's gonna cheapen what I do. It's gonna make him look like a hoax pretty much. So he refused to do that. And then after he told me that, I sent him a text message and I said, you know what? Maybe you should be concerned with how they're using your information. And I sent him an interview that the IUIC did with him that they chopped the shit up. I'm a video editor. So I know where the chops go, where the edits and the cuts go at. They cut the hell out of that interview that they did with him. And he told them they left in where he told them there's evidence of people being in Puerto Rico 15,000 years ago. And the Americas 15,000 years ago. They left that in the interview that they did with Dr. Reniel Rodriguez Ramos, who's a professor in the University of Puerto Rico in the city of Utuado in Puerto Rico. I have contacted him and spoken to him on the phone, and he sends me emails of what he posts on academia.edu, which is a good source to get like professional or like credited, like, professor reports and whatever, like they'll post, he posts like real shit. This is accredited stuff. But he also told me some stuff that left me thinking like, damn, man, I don't even know what to believe, because he's saying that really, when you think about it, the whole Taino Indian and what they created and what they told us what a Taino Indian is, he's like, that's just a combination of a whole other shit too. And that's how complex genetics is, and history and life. And these motherfuckers just tell you, oh, well, you're the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Then this is like, it's so easily put in like, for you to understand when it comes to the people that believe in the Hebrew Israelite stuff. You're a Simeonite, or you're Dominican, you're a Simeonite. You're a Black American, you're Judite. Everything is compartmentalized into these easy like conclusions that you don't even have to think about it. It's just like, okay. But when you start questioning these things, and you even ask, well, what the fuck was Abraham? Where did he come from? He wasn't an Israelite. We know Abraham wasn't an Israelite. He was called a Hebrew. But where did he come from? It said he came from Ur of the Chaldeans. He came from Sumer. What was the ethnicity of the people that were around at that time? And that had to get into the Hebrew Israelites. If Abraham was actually a real person, then that DNA had to get into the 12 tribes of Israel. Isaac and Jacob got that DNA too. Esau couldn't have been a white Caucasian and been the twin identical brother of Jacob. And this is not how DNA works.
Anthropology does not show white people appearing some 6,000 years ago.
Nah, man, there was already white people in the world before Jacob and Esau would have come into existence, if you want to go by that, which would have been, I think they say 2000 BCE, something like that, anywhere from 1200 to 2000 BCE. So by then, I mean, the whole timeline of the Bible, it doesn't cover everything anyways. That's why they say a day to God is 1,000 years. So now they can expand that them days of the first day God created the sun and let there be light. That one day was 1,000 years. It took 1,000 years for God to create the sun, then is what you're saying? It took 1,000 years for God to create humans. He can't do it at the snap of a finger. It's God. And Adam and Eve, if they look like the modern man, whether you want to call Adam and Eve real people or Adamites, a group of people, if they weren't born and God created them out of the dust of the ground, then they wouldn't have navels. They wouldn't have belly buttons, because a navel is there because you were once connected to your mother. This is genetics. This is biology. God doesn't have God. Why does God have a belly button or a navel? God and Adam and Eve would not have a navel because they weren't born. We have that because we were once connected to our mother through our umbilical cord. So if God was created in the image of man, and just to touch on that, because I haven't really touched on that, this people that come on here and say San Miguel doesn't believe in God. And I'll ask him, what God do you believe in? Does your God have nipples? Why does your God have nipples, man? That shit don't make sense, man. Your God has a navel. He has fucking armpit hair. He has a beard, teeth. That shit don't make sense, man. I'm sorry. The Hebrew Israelites that are out here listening, man, or anybody that wants to describe their God as a, like a physical being, it's like, I want to ask you these things. And it's not a joke. I'm not asking if God has nipples like it's a joke. It sounds funny because it is funny, man. You're the one saying that God looks like us. So God must have nipples and teeth. Why does he have teeth? What is he chewing on? Is it he doesn't have to eat? He doesn't have a digestive system. He doesn't take a shit. And if God does take a shit, is that where the term holy shit comes from? This is the type of questions that I have and shit out here. And I want answers. And ICGJC, I'm not letting y'all off the hook too with Tazadaki's 2020 prophecy. You know, I'm still goddamn holding these cats' feet to the fire. But Miguel, is Taino confirmed? Can you elaborate on that question? I don't know what you mean. Is Taino confirmed with me or as a people? Taino come from the Arawak speaking people. Arawak was a language that it looks like the migration came from north, which would make sense because Native Americans or the ancient Americans, the Paleo Indians are descendants of ancient Siberians. So it would make sense that they would come from north to south, but shit ain't so simply laid out like that because there's also some DNA that comes from Polynesians found in Peru, which throws a fucking monkey wrench in the whole idea that everything is so simply, oh yeah, they just migrated north and everything. It's not that simple. They might have went along down the coast on boats or ships. It could have been 20 people that later migrated or populated into 100, 200,000, 20,000 over time. There's evidence that some of them might have come down the coast from Beringia or Siberia, the Bering Sea, which goes down to the Vancouver Bay, which goes down to the Channel Islands of California, San Miguel Island, San Nicolas Island. Those are the Channel Islands of California when you go down the Pacific. And then you start getting down to Mexico, and you got Easter Island not too far from there too, you know. And then South America, it could be, and there is evidence that shit is just not so easily laid out to where, oh yeah, they came from north, and the evidence shows that the more ancient people were north, and then there's, you know, people that are closer to a modern time, and we found bones. No, they found bones over in Chile that backdate this shit 20,000 years. I forget the city in the country of Chile, which is on the west coast of South America. It's a very mountainous region that's very thin, and it's right next to Argentina, and it actually goes alongside Bolivia, I believe, too. And you know, the Amazon is, you know, the Amazon rainforest all through there. They found Polynesian DNA over there too, man. This shit ain't so simple, man. And when you throw that at somebody like Gorilla Hebrew, which I have, he'll be like, yeah, you know, well, we're Afro-Asians. We're Afro-Asiatic. So we're gonna have Asians and African. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? You're not even listening to what I'm saying. You know, and you go into the genetics of the dentistry, the ophthalmology, you know, which is like what they call the monolid eyelids of Asians and Native Americans. There's a connection. The dentistry, which is called the shovel-shaped incisors, there's a connection there. The way that they metabolize alcohol, Asians and Native Americans both have issues with that. It's called flush. They get flushed sometimes, and you know that's why they be saying Native Americans are drunkards. They be getting drunk. Is that they weren't used to, you know, like their bodies weren't used to metabolizing that shit. You know, I think they used to make alcohol out of corn. And when the Europeans came, they were making alcohol out of fucking potatoes and shit. And they just weren't used to metabolizing it that way. But let me see what brother's saying here. They were speaking Paleo Hebrew too. Who was speaking Paleo Hebrew? But yeah, let's go back to my some of my results here. Because yeah, I'll go into some of these videos about different people in the Hebrew Israelite community, because from what I understand, Divine Prospect also did his DNA test. I don't have a haplogroup, so I can't tell you what I am. I might be haplogroup R, who knows? But that's what Gorilla Hebrew came up as, and Divine Prospect came up as that, according to what I believe Abu told me on a text message earlier. Divine.
Damn. You just put Abu is on blast, boy.
Yeah, my bad, man. I mean, that's what he told me, and shit. I mean, obviously, it's out there because Abu will tell you, I can't confirm it. I don't know. This is what Abu will tell you straight up. So when he tells you something, most I'm willing to believe it's verified. But yeah, man. This is some more of my DNA results. I mean, when somebody tells you, "Oh, I'm a Simeonite because I'm Dominican," it's like, well, what is a Dominican? Look at what I found in my shit. I'm all over the world, man. I'm everything. We are the world. I'm not just one thing. Like that doesn't make sense too for you as a Hebrew Israelite that follows the 12 tribe sign created by Ariah in 1 West, 125th Street in Harlem. It doesn't make sense for you to say that a Mexican and a Haitian are genetically connected to each other. But a Mexican and an Asian or a Siberian, they're not. And a Haitian and a person from Kenya, they're not anyway connected because that's a Hamite, he's African. Are you insane? Are you crazy? A Haitian and a Mexican are fucking brothers and sisters, man. I had a dude telling me I brought this cat on from a Facebook group. He didn't know what the fuck he was getting himself into. Every time I ask him a question, he'll answer it with a question. I'll be like, "Do you think Mexicans are black?" And he'll be like, "Well, the white man thought they were black. Christopher Columbus didn't care. Christopher Columbus didn't care. When he came over here, he was killing everybody. So therefore, Mexicans are black, is what you're saying? Because you think like Christopher Columbus, a fucking racist from the 1400s, man. 15th century motherfucker. Or like, this is how you think?" And he's using that. They use that as an excuse. And it's like, all I'm asking you, my question was, are Mexicans black? And you responded with, well, Christopher Columbus, when he came here, he was just killing everybody. Oh, okay. So that means Mexicans are black. Okay, thank you. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Make some sense here. Like, Hebrew Israelites don't know how to answer questions or follow logic. They don't know what the fuck critical thinking even means, man. Like, these cats are ridiculous. But yeah, you can't say that you're a Mexican and that means that you're an Issacharite, and then your brother is a Haitian. There's no way to reconcile that without you having to break your brain in pieces and then put it back together where it doesn't fit, and you're putting a fucking triangle into a circle. It doesn't fit, man. This doesn't work. But yeah, man, Abu shouting you out. It's cool to see 93 on the panel. Yeah, 93. That's a
Oh
nice.
yeah, shout out to Abu, man. That dude, he's he's an interesting guy. He should come on the panel when he gets some time. I know he's probably studying some stuff and learning some stuff. He need to come on.
Yeah, bro.
Because
He's on the move.
I'm gonna hook San Miguel up. I'm gonna get him the one with the haplogroups. We're gonna find out what he is for real.
We're gonna find that out, man, because I might just be haplogroup J.
Oh man, we're gonna have to. Yup, we're gonna have to. Definitely gonna try to milk that. So
I might be haplogroup K. I might have to pull my menorah out, dust it off, and go back to celebrating some Hebrew Israelite stuff that I thought I once was through a false interpretation of this 12 tribe stuff from 125th Street, 1 West. Come to find out, I have some Jewish DNA in me, man. I'm Sephardic Jew or something.
I'm gonna come out there to Florida. We're gonna have a drink, Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov. I'll get the Manischewitz, maybe. We'll do it. But
We're gonna
yeah,
play
Drake.
Dreidel.
Get Abu on because Abu needs his whole own show, and so he can, talk about. So I can ask him questions about everything, man. There's so much. Abu is the Encyclopedia Britannica of this 1 West stuff.
He's especially good with GMS.
Yeah, I remember listening to Abu on YouTube back in 2008, man. I was listening to his voice, and I remember his voice because his voice is very distinct. And I believe he was with Truth After Knowledge. I don't know if I got
Truth
that
After,
wrong.
what was that, like an old R&B group he was in, or what was that?
No. No, I believe it. I don't know if I'm getting him confused with Faithful to God. I don't know, because Faithful to God
No,
has
he
a,
was in Truth After Knowledge, but I don't. I'm trying to figure out, was they a study group or were they like a classical rhythm and blues? Uh,
I mean, I just remember Abu commenting on the beef between GMS and ICGJC and Rebel Alliance Media, the original Antichrist, Rebel Alliance Media. But you know, Abu goes way back, man, and I love how careful he is about putting out information and how he describes its accuracy. You know, listen to the way that he provides you information compared to somebody like Nathaniel of IUIC, which when they say something, you can't go against it. It's this is it, and there's no way that I'm wrong. The word buy, no man shall buy you. There's no way that means purchase. That obviously it means no man shall redeem you. It's like there's no way that could mean nobody shall purchase you. There's no way that could mean that in Deuteronomy 28. Nah, brother, don't you know that the word buy also means redeem? Like they just be switching up, words. This is double speak. This is 1984 George Orwell. You're using a word that we know the definition of. Egypt is a land, man. No, but don't you know the word Egypt means bondage? So that means, and it's like, well, if I tell you, come to Orlando so I can meet you, you're gonna say, well, the word Orlando actually means brush and bushes. So I'll meet you by the bushes. It's like, no, man, stop fucking with what I'm saying. We know Orlando is a place. Meet me over here, man. Oh, but the word Orlando that means this. Like, what are you talking about? That's not how people fucking talk and communicate and decipher information when they communicate. This stuff is crazy. With the word Brazil comes from the Brazil nut. Yo, meet me at Brazil. Okay, I'll meet you by the Brazil tree with the Brazil nuts. No, meet me in Brazil.
let me ask you a question. If
Yeah.
Egypt means bondage, is there any passage that you can bring up when they were in Assyria and Babylon where they called it Egypt? We are in Egypt, even though we're in Babylon, as a code word for Babylon. I mean,
Nah,
like, yeah.
nah. There's Isaiah 19, there's Isaiah 11 or Isaiah 9 and 25. Let me show you that real quick. Because I was on the IUIC Clubhouse group, that crazy Clubhouse crap. And there was a brother that was a former IUIC member that brought up Isaiah. I believe he said Isaiah. Well, it says, Egypt, my people. So it'll come up. Isaiah 19:25. Yeah. Um. So, I mean, it talks about Egypt and Assyria. There's different scriptures that talk about the daughter of Babylon. There's a scripture that tells you about the daughter of Babylon, and they try to say that's America. Like, then there's Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21, when they say, prepare a slaughter for his children and the iniquity of their fathers, for the iniquity of their fathers. Um, Isaiah chapter 14 is talking about Babylon, the actual kingdom of Babylon, and that scripture is specifically addressing the king of Babylon and his children. The ICGJC, ISUPK, GMS, Sakari, all these groups take that scripture and say, this is when you tell them, well, if a white person comes to you and says, well, I didn't put your people in slavery, what did I do? I was just born in 1984. They'll say, well, the scripture, guess what? You're still going to get it, because the scripture tells you in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21, prepare a slaughter for his children. For what? For his children. What? For the iniquity of their father. Whoa! So that means now, fuck you, nigga. I don't care if you didn't do shit. Because you're born and you're a white person, you're going to die. When the scripture is talking about the king of Babylon and his children. And they take that shit to say, no, it's Babylon's America. But the scripture says his children. It's talking about one person. When a king dies, their children takes over. That's why the Bible says, prepare slaughter for the children of the king of Babylon. If you read verse 4, it says, take up this proverb to the king of Babylon. They take all that shit and say, no, Babylon is America because it's the land of confusion, because there's so many religions here. Babylon means land of confusion. Why is America land of confusion? Because everybody believes in every religion. It's a freedom of religion. It's land of confusion. It's fucking crazy. But let me share my screen and show you a scripture that, I mean, this, I don't know, this talks about Egypt. What they'll say is, oh, the Israelites were in Egypt. So this is not talking about Egyptians, this is talking about Israelites. But it literally says, let me see, what's the best version? English Standard Version. Could do the King James. It says, whom the Lord of hosts shall bless, saying, blessed be Egypt, my people. I don't know if I can see that. It's under the King James Version. It says, blessed be Egypt, my people. Why is God saying that Egypt is my people, if Israel's his people? And then it says, and Assyria, the work of my hands, and Israel. If he's talking about Israelites altogether, why is he separating Israel and Israel, mine inheritance, when he just said Egypt are my people too? But they're gonna say, oh, that's because Israelites are in the land of Egypt. But there's definitely scriptures that they try to use, like in Revelation chapter 11, Fortune, Revelation chapter 11, verse 8, says that the dead body shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. So they say that America, the scripture says the great city. America is not a city. America is a country. But they'll say this talking about America. America allows homosexuality, LGBT, all that stuff, gay marriage. So spiritually it's called Sodom. That's America. And Egypt. Why is it called Egypt? Because the children of Israel were slaves in Egypt, just like the children of Israel were slaves in America. So God considers America modern day Egypt. You hear what I'm saying? You see how they fuck with you? That's called double speak.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. But that's double speak, that's double think. But you know, that's what they'll say here. Like this scripture came up earlier. So, you know, you mentioned Assyria, you mentioned Egypt, and this, like, that shit came up immediately. But you just look that up real quick. Double speak. This is what they do, man. It's a euphemism, pretty much. It's it's often attributed incorrectly to George Orwell, 1984. Okay, so it says deliberately euphemistic, ambiguous, or obscure language. That's what double speak means. If y'all can see that. It's deliberately euphemistic, ambiguous, or obscure language. So you're telling me in Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, the Lord shall send you back to Egypt in ships. No, the word Egypt actually means America. So this is like euphemism. This is like code speak, code words and shit. Well, God didn't want you to see it, so he put it in the Bible as a trick to fuck you up, to see how much do you really love him. Because if if you're crazy enough to believe this shit, that means you must really love God. That's pretty much how they look at it, man. It's like if you're crazy enough to believe that Egypt means America, then that means that you must really love God, because the whole doctrine is crazy. How far can you go, and how much of a leap are you going to take to show? Because the more faith that you have, it's supposed to be good. Like, to me, faith is not good. In the cults, in the ICGJC, the more faith you have, the more of a better person you are in the face of reality, in the face of truth. Tazadakia dies, and they're saying he's going to resurrect from the dead. Based off of what? My faith. It's my faith. Oh, you must have great faith, sister. Brother, you got great faith to believe in that. That's a good thing? That's a bad thing. Because you got to be crazy to believe things that are impossible. But they're making it seem like God wants to test you to see how crazy would you get for God. That's literally what they're saying. God is like a narcissistic sociopath that wants to test how crazy he can get you for him. Like, the more faith you have, like, the better it is. It's like, where's the logic at here? Yeah. But I mean, I don't know if we can keep showing my DNA. We pretty much went through most of that shit. I scanned
That's
through it.
interesting.
Back to it.
I think I put something in the chat for you to check out. I don't know if you can see it.
The private
It's a,
chat.
yeah, it should be in here where you can
Oh,
see it though.
I've been on this website before, the National Library of Medicine, many times. The Y chromosome lineages in men of West African descent. Wow, look at this. This is good shit right here. All right, let me share the screen. This is the National Institute. What was it? National Library of Medicine. I'm trying to blow it up. It just keeps fucking up. But all right, there we go. The early African experience in the Americas. Oh wait, did I skip something? The abstract is usually the best thing to read. So yeah, let's just go right to the abstract. The early African experience in the Americas is marked by the transatlantic slave trade from 1619 to 1850. Let's blow it up more. My bad. And right here, the rise of the plantation system. The origins of enslaved Africans were largely dependent on European preferences as well as the availability of potential laborers within Africa. Rice production was a key industry of many colonial South Carolina low country plantations. A lot of the African Americans that came up to Harlem in the early 1900s were coming up from the South and North Carolina. Accordingly, rice plantations owners within South Carolina often requested enslaved Africans from the so-called grain coast of Western Africa, Senegal to Sierra Leone. Studies on the African origins of the enslaved within other regions of the Americas have been limited. To address the issue of origins of people of African descent within the Americas and understand more about the generic heterogeneity present within Africa and the African diaspora, we typed Y chromosome specific markers in 1,319 men, consisting of 508 West and Central Africans from 12 populations, 188 Caribbeans from 2 islands, 532 African Americans from Washington, D.C. and Columbia, South Carolina, and 91 European Americans. Principal component and admixture analysis provides support for significant grain coast ancestry among African American men in South Carolina. African American men from DC and the Caribbean showed a closer affinity to populations from the Bight of Biafra.
Now this is the important part right here to the point that you were talking about lineage. Read that where it says furthermore. Read it.
Furthermore, 30 to 40% of the paternal lineages in African descent populations in the Americas are of European descent. Oh shit. 30 to
So
40%.
so it's getting close, 30 to 40%. That's about 35% and up. So that means a
So
significant
like,
portion of American people, of the American males of the slave trade, that's like
right.
a moderate frequency of them being descendants of who y'all call Edomites. So you know they want to throw away DNA, because that's a lot of brothers that definitely is going into slavery, like you were saying.
I'm thinking about Allen Iverson right now. He's from Virginia, this whole area, DC or whatever. They used to be like, yo, Allen Iverson don't look like Matumbo. You see, Allen Iverson is an Israelite, Matumbo's a Hamite. You see, they don't look the same. And it's like, well, Allen Iverson might be like 30%, 20% European, maybe. That's why. I mean, this is what I'm getting from shit like this. You got African Americans that do their DNA test and they find out, oh shit, I'm mad white.
I told you about Michael Jackson, didn't I?
Nah, what happened with him?
He's R.
He's R too? Jesus Christ.
And Muhammad Ali.
And Muhammad Ali. Check that out. One of the greatest boxers of all time.
Shit. And Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King. Wow.
And Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey? Holy shit. So what
and
does that mean? What does that mean to you? They're all haplogroup R.
that means that for those people who do the whole race thing about your seed of your father, there's a lot of your heroes and significant men who are going into slavery according to your doctrine. See, the thing that they don't realize is America is the opposite of their theology. You are who your mother is in America,
Right.
to be a slave.
Yeah. Even
law.
Native Americans, this is how Native Americans decided who you were as a person. A man, Osceola, Chief Osceola, who is pretty much one of the forefathers of the Seminole Indians. His father was actually a European. Osceola was fighting off the Europeans out here in Florida, and was one of the last that never made a deal. Where Andrew Jackson was sending Stonewall Jackson, the Indian killer, all throughout Florida and all of that. You have people like Osceola, Chief Osceola, whose mother was a Native American from Oklahoma, but whose father was a European. But he was out here fighting off Edomites, as they would say, or whatever. So yeah, the matrilineal, that's how it works usually. I mean, Obama was born out of a white woman. He came out of a white vagina. And they just completely disregard that woman as if Barack Obama's just black. He's just black. Don't even acknowledge that he's half white. He's the first black president. I don't want to hear nothing else. Like, isn't he
Well, we
half?
just enjoyed the optics. We just enjoyed the optics of that. I didn't understand the ramifications of that when I was 15, and that election happened, and then he became president, and I was still young. We just wanted the optics, and when you're not understanding what you actually need when you're putting your vote to any elected official, to any person of power. It don't matter if the dude look like a bowl of Jello. Can he give me what I need in the amount of time that he's going to be representing us? But a lot of us just wanted somebody who looked like us because we never had that before. Well, we're done with that. I'm definitely done with that. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny because I had a back and forth, man. You call it an argument with this one very educated sister. She had all types of degrees that she told me about ahead of time before we went live one time. It was on a different platform. And I went on her joint. She had like 1 million followers, man. She was mad popular. And she was woke as fuck. She's the type of girl, type of person that says black people can't be racist. That's the type of person
This is not the conversation. This is not the time for that conversation, Miguel.
Right.
But let me get you off topic real quick.
Yeah. But
do you have
basically saying like Obama's black, and
okay,
Obama's black because if he was to be stopped by cops in the fucking Bible Belt, they don't care about his mother being white or none of that shit. They're gonna assume he's black, therefore he's black, and so and I was like, oh, so you think like a racist then
This is the
You
one
know,
drop rule.
well, you know why he's black to a lot of black people was because he had a black wife, and that was enough for them to clap. He had a white wife; it might have been a lot different. He's biracial, and his wife is big. Then them kids gonna come out. See, the kids came out more black because the wife was a traditional African American woman from the South Side of Chicago, and he's mixed, but he was brown enough. And then a biracial and a fully, from what I understand, fully racial black woman.
He could play basketball too. He's cool with Jay-Z, and Oprah loves him.
And he's good looking too, so you got to factor that in. He's got
smart,
good looking features,
smart, well spoken,
and articulate.
Like Trump doesn't talk like Obama. You know, Obama could talk his way out of fucking.
Oh, don't. Well, Donald Trump got the gift of gab. It's just his hair.
He's not as evasive as like somebody would want you to be when it comes to the press. Like when you speak to the press, you want to be evasive and you don't want to, like they ask you a question, you don't want to answer it directly.
He used to be like that when he was younger, but it is what it is with him. You can't really sell nobody on Donald Trump at this point.
Hey man, but Donald Trump could get arrested and they'll make T-shirts of his mugshot and shit.
So let me ask you real quick, because I don't know how brief you want to acknowledge this. Have you heard about this current ongoing Kendrick Lamar and Drake feud? And if you have, what are your thoughts?
I have nothing to say about that. I keep seeing people posting stuff on Facebook about it, and I don't know what they're talking about.
You love it. You love it. It falls right into what you talk about because they're having that conversation about Drake not being black enough, and that's part of that's part of their rap beef right now. It's interesting. You love
this. How black Kendrick Lamar really is. Like, what is black enough?
I need to buy him a 23andMe.
Yeah, but this is my thing. I'll agree with what Joe Budden said about Kendrick Lamar. It's like he's just missing something. It's like I'm not convinced. He's missing something, and when he does a rap diss, and I haven't even heard the rap, I haven't heard the diss. It's like every time I hear Kendrick Lamar, it's like he's like okay, and it's just like he's just not convincing me. Like I don't agree with. I'm not convinced. Like,
are you aware of his history or so-called ties to IUIC?
I know a little bit about it. I know he had a cousin in IUIC Tallahassee. That's no longer in there anymore.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he's no longer in there anymore. That cousin of his who spoke as a skit on an album that I've heard Kendrick Lamar album. I'm not amazed by him. I don't think he's so great. I don't understand. Like I like J. Cole. I like Joey Badass better than him. I like Action Bronson better than him. I'll take.
Action Bronson didn't Ghostface have to snap on him?
He did. I'll take Rock Marciano and Ka over any of these guys right now. I'll take Rock Marciano and Ka over any of these guys. That's just my type of music. That's just what I like to hear. Kendrick Lamar just doesn't do it for me. Like the recipe was good. There's certain things that I like. He can flow. It's just like something just doesn't pull me in. Like I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm too old.
And your thoughts on Drake?
Man, Drake is a mixed feelings, man. Like he reminds me of how I felt about Jay-Z sometimes. Like sometimes I would like him, sometimes I wouldn't like him back then. Right now, overall, for sure, Drake don't compare to no Jay-Z at all. But Drake, definitely, I would put him up over Kendrick Lamar. I know more Drake music than Kendrick Lamar, and to me, it seems like Drake is better. But I know more Drake music than Kendrick Lamar, so I would say that. I started listening to Drake when he was signed to Houston, the fucking H-Town shit. With Bun B, when he was doing shit with Bun B and all of that shit.
Best member of the Wu-Tang, in your opinion?
The best member of the Wu-Tang Clan, I would say, is Raekwon. Then Method Man, and then Master Killer. Top three. I have to do three. I used to like RZA at a certain point. He was my favorite for years. Then Ghostface too. and I would probably put RZA and Ghostface at the next 4 or 5 spot. But it's hard to do, man, because I love Inspector Deck. I really love Inspector Deck.
I think Ghostface has maybe a one up on Raekwon. He might have like one extra classic than Raekwon
Yeah,
does.
he has better albums. Yeah, I think my thing with Raekwon is that he's done better features. I just heard a song with Ghostface and Nas that was dope as hell. I forget the name of it. It just came out today or yesterday, and Nas's verse was crazy. Nas destroyed it, like killed it off the charts. And Ghostface was just like kind of like, okay, and he's been like that for a while though, but yeah, Ghostface did Iron Man, which was a classic, but Raekwon and Capadonna helped him on that.
Hey, you gonna have to explain the mobility though.
Oh, Mobility, I can't explain that at all. Mobility had a few good tracks. I love Sneakers, produced by Pete Rock. I love that song. I think that's a great fucking song. I love Yayo. The video has Zab Judah, who's an Israelite, and my boy knows him in Harlem. My boy Naja speaks to him on a regular basis, actually. Zab Judah, he trained with him too with the Golden Gloves in Brooklyn. In
Now, what do you mean he's an Israelite? He was taught by like One West or like an offshoot of One West?
I think it's an offshoot, but that's his father changed his name to Judah, and then he was born Zab Judah. So his father was the one that got Zab Judah into that. But if you see the video for, I think it's a song Yayo, maybe, I don't know. No, it's a different song. You see a young Floyd Mayweather and a young Zab Judah, and they're boxing, and fucking Raekwon is like the trainer or some shit. It's not Yayo. I forget the name of the song, but that's on the Mobility for sure.
And what do you think about Cool G Rap? He converted to that belief too.
Nah, man, you serious? I love Cool G Rap. He's one of my favorite rappers of all time. He's from Queens.
He stood there and said, "Yeah, man. What people don't understand is, we are the children of Israel." I've seen him do it.
He said that. He's such a street cat. Like Cool G Rap never got out the fucking streets, bro. He was always in the hood.
Well, I guess maybe Superhead made him run the religion, man.
Superhead, that bitch was giving head since your nose was bleeding. What I heard. And anyways, that's Cool G Rap was the one that trained her. Cool G Rap is another dude that he reminds me of like a Jadakiss, a Capone, or something like that. Like he's a great rapper, just never did a good album. I mean, Cool G Rap has 4, 5, 6. That's a pretty good album. He has so many tracks and features. Like Cool G Rap has the best verse on the Murder Music album by Mobb Deep. He has the best verse on the album, I think.
Mm-hmm. And he got the best verse on the Symphony, if you ask me.
Symphony, I think he had the best verse on the Symphony for sure.
And you brought up Nas.
Yeah, Fast Life.
Nas was on Fast Life. Nas is also haplogroup I, just to let you know.
Yeah, he's related to like Native Americans too. Like because he did his thing through Louis Gates Jr. Finding Your Roots, and he had a descendant named Pocahontas. He had an ancestor. It wasn't the Pocahontas. Did you see that?
No, I've seen it. But when I read the book, there's a book that accompanies that. I don't know if they left that out or I need to watch it again because they sure told him, yeah, you're because he was, his father name is Ben Alu Dara, right? So they were kind of repping like a Yoruba kind of thing, but they're not Yoruba. His father's line is Irish.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, I just found out today because I haven't checked my statistics, my DNA results in about a year, maybe. My Irish went up to 6% from like 2%. So that's a little different there. But St. Ivan the Terrible, welcome, man. St. Ivan the Terrible has a live going on tomorrow on God Time. If y'all know this, y'all know God Time. The channel is pretty much what he's using to destroy this ICGJC. They're already destroyed, man, but a little few hits we want to get at the end there as they falling down. Nas all day, A Sharp. Oh, we got LGBTQ Hebrew Israelite. All right, brother. I gotta get this brother on right now. 9-3. Give me a second.
I sit here, man. Look, LGBTQ. I know he gotta be trolling, bro.
Nah, he's not. How you doing, sir? Welcome. Are you there? LGBTQ, LGBT Hebrews.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing, man? What's going on?
I'm doing all right, man. I just want to say, man, a few things. I'm still a Hebrew Israelite at heart, but I am a part of the LGBT community. I'm just the only Israelite that can admit it. I'm just the only one that can, because a whole lot of them, like Zabak, can't admit it, but I can.
What you know about Zabak? Because I heard some stuff about him.
Zabak, I'm gonna say this right here. I know you on the East Coast, but if you come out to Los Angeles, a lot of the Hebrew Israelites on the West Coast have been engaging in a lot of LGBT activity. And Zabak know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I know he married.
That's crazy as hell. Because you know, I came across Zabak on the streets of Times Square. I was staying at the Manhattan Hotel one time, on 48th Street, literally on 48th Street in Times Square. And so I was like, yo, let me take a little stroll down here and go to this Irish bar they got down the block. And on the way there, I see Zabak and his minions or whatever, you know, preaching. And I put that video up. I did a live on it and addressed it. I was waiting for them to put it out. That's interesting. I know. I mean, there's brothers. There was a brother in IUIC. I've been wanting to put this report up. There was a brother in IUIC that was messing with a trans woman, and
Yes, I don't mean to cut you off, but I do it too. In the Hebrew Israelites, a lot of Hebrew Israelites, not openly, but they do deal with trans women. They do deal with them. It's a problem that a lot of us dealing with. Zabak is going through this as well, especially in Los Angeles. Now, the East Coast, I don't know. I'm specifically talking about Israelites on the West Coast, out in California. But yes, Zabak. Right? Now, Zabak comes to Los Angeles. I know he's in New York, but he comes out to Los Angeles all the time, and he does it. In LA, the part of the gay community that the Israelites creep in is called West Hollywood. Ask anybody about West Hollywood in LA. That's the main drag where a lot of Israelites get caught up in.
I recently did a video, an edited video called Disconfirmed Expectancy Part 3. And I put a little snippet of ISUPK Hollywood in there. There's a ISUPK Hollywood. And the leader seemed a little bit flamey to me. Now that I listened to him, I was like, is this just a way of the West Coast, like the twang and them kind of, you know, their accent or whatever? Or is he sound kind of fruity to me or something? But it is Hollywood, right? So,
shit. Well, no. Not you got Hollywood and got West Hollywood. Okay. Like in New York, you got the Village. Y'all got is it called the Village over there where the gay community is?
Village, and you got the East Village. You know, yeah.
But in California, Los Angeles, it's called West Hollywood. But yes, you got Israelites to be over there. Zabak has engaged in it many times. I've engaged in it myself.
I got you.
Oh, so you said Zabak was doing glizzies?
A lot of people in LA, when you get in some of these camps out here, now listen, not every Israelite, of course, but I would say a lot of Hebrew Israelites do things you don't know about. I'm gonna tell you something. It was another Israelite. They say this race is the devil, that race is the devil, but I seen them kids so-called like what do they call? What do they refer to Asians as? Moabites. Yeah, I seen them behind the scenes kiss Moabites on the cheeks and everything. They do a lot of stuff in Los Angeles that you be like, oh man, what the hell?
What group? Like, how did you join the Hebrew Israelite community? Did you come in through a group?
No, we're the first group to come out of Los Angeles. You can look up Shield of Wisdom. Shield of Wisdom. He been out here for years. Then later on, Zabak came out here. Later on, IUIC came out here. Later on, ISUPK came out here. They came out here like 2010, 2011. They went out. This man, Sheila Wilson, was the first to start in LA. He brought Zabak to Los Angeles.
Got you. Yo, so I know Shikari's deep out there now. Shikari's big in San
No,
Diego.
no. So he lives in Atlanta. He left from out He was in San Diego.
Okay. Well, yeah,
but he live in Atlanta now.
Atlanta, I would say, is probably number 2 right behind Los Angeles with the LGBTQ stuff.
Yeah.
You talk about Gorilla Hebrew.
Now I don't know if Gorilla Hebrew is doing it. I don't know about that, what he does. I know Zabak. Personally, Zabak. Me and Zabak was doing this.
Right.
And
well, y'all was doing that together, or y'all was separately doing the same thing?
We wasn't like hanging with each other, but we was doing it in terms of both going to that West Hollywood. Ask anybody in LA or on the East Coast that been out to LA about Santa Monica Boulevard. They know right what we talking about.
So what is the motivation? Why is he doing this? Why would y'all do that?
I'm in the closet. I've been in the closet for years with mine. I'm somewhat dealing with the Israelites, but I'm kind of finding certain things out that black people might not truly be Israelites. But Zabak, he's just in the closet like I am. A lot of people, I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of these people who are trans, and like a lot of the like the transgender community in LA, a lot of these transgender women, they look just like women. Some of them look like supermodels in Los Angeles. So a lot of people, we just don't care. We don't care.
That's,
you know,
that's strong illusions right there.
Look up Sydney Star. We got them looking like that out here. When we see things like that, a lot of people in it are engaging.
So y'all just said fuck. Y'all just said fuck Leviticus. I gotta get mad, huh?
Well, it's a whole lot of Israelites that do not just with terms of that, but do a lot of things. They steal money from groups. Listen, what's the dude, Bishop Nathaniel? You think people in his organization ain't stealing money or doing things they ain't got no business doing?
So you're saying that stealing is just as bad as doing sodomy, because I mean, listen, there's a scripture that says if you offend in one, you offend in all. You know, is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is a lot. What I'm saying is a lot of Israelites are doing and engaging in things that everybody's crooked. I'm gonna say that it's very few people that's come on, you can tell people doing things they ain't got to. It ain't just a homo. I ain't just talking about homo. I'm talking about they could be stealing money. They might be messing with people's wives. They might be, you know, they get in fights.
There might be people that'll get on you and say, "Oh, you're off, brother. You're off. You're, you know, Leviticus chapter 19 or whatever, Leviticus chapter 21." But they might be stealing, and they're gonna look at you like you're wrong because you're doing something that's against the Bible, maybe, you know, what they'll call lust or an abomination. What do they call it?
Can I give you an example? I'm gonna give you an example. When I say people, everybody,
fornication is the word, right? Yeah.
I'm gonna give you an example. Like the fight between IUIC and ISUPK. Both of them say we brothers, we love our people, but yet they can't even get along with each other. That's what I mean when I say everybody's doing little things out here in California that they ain't got no business doing.
Do you think that they're doing those things because they can't help it? It's like, is it innate? Is it their nature? Or is it like something that they can change and it's a choice?
Well, I'm chosen to deal with transgenders, and I seen Zabak doing it. We chose to do this. Now I don't know if he can. I gave in when I can't help it when it comes to trans women. I like them. You know, okay. Zabak does it now, but
why though? Why you do that?
Look up Sydney Star, and you will see what I'm talking about.
I'm not gonna look up Sydney Star. But why? Like, what is it? What is it? Because if she looks like a woman, but then don't you like women too? You like women too, right?
Yes, but like I can't. I just it's unexplainable.
Is it because they're more promiscuous?
It's like they're more seductive. It's like that kind of spirit going on. They're a lot more seductive.
Because I think that's what it is. I think because I've heard this many times that they get treated like promiscuously. They get treated like skanks. Like they just get, you know, that they're like a slut bag, and they could easily just use them, and then they have a main girl, but then they got the side little smut bag, and they like
Yeah,
because
Zabak
they're,
is
you know,
married.
like I was watching Sopranos, and Anthony Soprano says, you know, to his psychiatrist. I'm gonna mute you real quick because there's some background noise. Anthony Soprano says to his psychiatrist, he says, you know, I have a side girl and I got a wife. And his wife was his psychiatrist was like, why do you need a side girl and a wife? And he was like, come on, you know, that's the same mouth that kisses my kids to sleep, you know? So I don't know. Is it like that?
It's just I can't explain it, man. I just like them. I'm into it. You know, just like some Israelites, they into stealing. Some of them are thieves. Some Israelites are into slandering other people. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that a lot of Israelites got vices. A lot of them got vices.
And if you're professing to be something like an Israelite, you supposed to be, you know, looked at to a higher standard, kind of like a police officer. You know, that's why people go crazy when police officers shoot unarmed men rather than, you know, just a citizen that shot somebody out of nowhere. It's like it's more egregious, like, oh, because it's like you're supposed to be up here. So when I think about a person that talks about them being a Hebrew Israelite, and then you're doing stuff like that, it's like, now this is my problem with it, because if you want to do that and be honest about it, then I can't fault you for being a liar, at least. If, you know, we still make fun of you, you know, because people are going to be made fun of, like, oh, you a Nancy boy, you a sissy, whatever. But I think from what I've studied, it tells you that this shit is innate and it's not a choice when it comes to the majority of the time.
I'm gonna say, can I just? This is another thing, but it's dealing with the Israelites. With the Hebrew Israelites, it's a dude. Pretty soon, I got a feeling that the Hebrew Israelites and the Muslims are gonna go to war with each other pretty soon, because it's a dude. He wrote. His name is Rashid Barbie. He wrote a book called "In the True Light of Hebrew Israelites, in the True Light of Jesus." He goes in this book. He refutes a lot of the Hebrew Israelites, and he trying to get them to Islam. Like the Israelites in the future, they getting ready to have a war with the Muslims, because a lot of the black, before the Hebrew Israelites was getting on social media, most of the black men were joining Islam. Now it's the opposite, and the Muslims, they want their people back. So look up Rashid Barbie's book, "In the True Light of Jesus, the Hebrew Israelites."
Okay. You know, this is recorded. This is gonna go out, and it's gonna stay up. I gotta be out. It's 11 o'clock. I didn't want to go that long.
You should do an interview with him and ask him his story. I don't know if you've done that already.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I got to do that. Vocab Malone, I believe, got you on before, right?
Yeah, he got me on. Yes.
Yeah, I remember you said that before. I was like, oh, okay.
But I'm not saying every Israelite is doing this. I'm saying I did it, and Zabak it, and me and Zabak.
Who else you know did that? Can you name some other people real quick?
I'm gonna be 100% with you. I'm not gonna just say, well, I seen this. No, I'm being completely honest. It was me and Zabak. That's who I know for sure.
It sounds like you guys were together.
I'm gonna say this. Yes, everybody hangs out in West Hollywood.
So you've seen him before out there.
Yes, and I mean, I'm not riding 24/7. I'm sure he goes out there by himself.
Okay, by himself. I mean, I wouldn't think he's going out there with his brothers from from whatever the hell group he's in, talking about, hey, let's go get these Chinese.
Now, Zabak definitely is engaging in that. Now, I don't know about the other people. I don't, you know, but I'm gonna say this: everybody got their skeletons in the Israelites. Whether it be they thieves, they fight, they lie on each other, they jealousy amongst each other. A lot of them can't admit it, but a lot of jealousy is amongst them. Everybody got their vices.
Have you
When
have you
people
ever
look
met
at it,
Zabak before? You met Zabak before?
he came to
Like,
Los Angeles. He came out here in 2013. I told you,
no, I'm
Shield
saying
of Wisdom.
I'm asking if you met him. I know he came to Los Angeles, obviously.
I was around him when we went to West Hollywood.
He was around him. Okay. And what type of setting was this?
It's from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. We on Santa Monica Boulevard. Everybody is on Santa Monica.
Out in the streets and you see him.
Yeah, the transgender sex workers be over there. I'm over there. Everybody hang out over there.
Okay, gotcha.
Look up Santa Monica Boulevard is where Eddie Murphy back in 1997 got caught up in his ordeal.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Do you think he killed that woman or had her killed?
I don't know. I've never met neither one of them. That was way in the 90s, but I'm gonna say this. Anybody who comes to Los Angeles, you know what goes down on Santa Monica Boulevard. Check this out. Ask anybody y'all know in LA about Santa Monica Boulevard and West Hollywood and what goes on from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. Everybody know what going on out there.
So do you think it's true what they say about the celebrities in Hollywood and stuff? They all be doing that and involved too?
Not everybody, but you got people that hang out over there, hang out in West Hollywood. They deal with that.
In
Santa
New York
Monica
City, in New York City is the Village, right? And DJ Mr. C, who was Biggie's DJ, got caught in the same way that Eddie Murphy or whatever in the Village with a trans. He recently passed away.
Yeah, I told you a lot of people deal with this. We be going through this. It's something we be dealing with.
I wonder what that is. You know, I'm like, you know, because there's men that don't like women, but they want men. They want men that look like women.
And there's women that don't like men, but they
men,
like the women that act like.
That look like men. Butch, yeah. That's you know, it's like when it comes to sexuality, it's like, bro, I can't explain that shit. Sigmund Freud tried it. I don't know.
I know you about to sign out, but try to see if you can get the Muslim brother Rashid Barbary to come on there. He wrote a book. He went into the history of going back to the 1800s about them, and then he refutes them. But he trying to get them back to Islam. See, but the thing that got me about his book, that's why I say I might get up out the Israelites, because the black people don't have DNA evidence to actually prove they're the children of Israel. It's kind of like wishful thinking. Like, yeah, we want it to be, but I've heard the DNA, the DNA don't match up with us. So that's why I say I'm in the Israelites, but I don't know how long. I gotta see what is
DNA is something that is objectively verified. Something like an interpretation of a scripture, you can't objectively verify your interpretation of a scripture, and you go to another scripture to say, well, I think this is talking about this, you know, because there's things in the Bible that I think could be contradictions, and people find their way around that and say, no, you stupid, you think it's a contradiction, but really this means that. And it's like, how do you know that? You're gonna have to dig up the grave of the person that wrote that and bring them to life and ask them, what did you mean when you typed this? Otherwise, you're just going to be playing a guessing game, and DNA evidence is not a guessing game. It's not so accurate. There's nothing in life, and they try to downplay science. Oh, you can't really tell. It's not 100% accurate. Nothing is 100% accurate. Why do you think that criteria?
I'm gonna say
scriptures like that. The scriptures will give you that, and it doesn't.
It's another group. It's some white people. They call themselves Christian identities. They sound just like the Hebrew Israelite. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Both claim that would be a good debate to see them debate them, but neither one of them got DNA on their side. You know, to really verify that they are the actual Israelites.
But even the interpretations of scriptures, like the 12 tribes breakdown, for example, the tribe of Benjamin, that says Benjamin shall raven as a wolf, and I forgot, he shall devour his prey in the evening or Sunday morning, something like that. And that somehow means that the tribe of Benjamin are the Jamaicans and the West Indians, but Haitians are considered West Indians. But no, Haitians are not Benjamin. Haitians are Levite. It's all confusion. The tribe of Reuben are the Seminole Indians, but the tribe of Gad are North American Indians. But Seminole Indians were in North America, but the tribe of Reuben is not Gad. Seminoles are not Gad. None of that makes sense. So it's like there's no genetic, there's no objective truth. It's like this leap of faith that it's like you're fitting the triangle into a circle. You're trying to fit it, and it just won't go in, but you're making it
Right.
fit. Like it works, and you just disregard the fact that it doesn't work. But I gotta be out, y'all. Thank you for coming through. I wanted to make sure I got you on, even if it's at the end of this. I need to get you back.
Okay, one day I'll try to come back on one day.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, I mean, if you
All right.
come on and I already have a topic, it's gonna be hard for me to just get you on and talk to you about what you're saying. But I mean, either way, but that's cool because sometimes people just come on if I'm talking about the Hebrew Israelite community and we just rap. It's like 93. I appreciate everybody, both of y'all for coming on and kind of contributing to this DNA results, me revealing my DNA results live. I'm gonna have to do another one though where I get my haplogroup out. So stay tuned for part 2 of this. But yeah, thank y'all for coming through, man. You want to say something just at the end?
All right. I'll just say peace, man. Thanks for letting me on,
All right, man. I'm gonna close it out. Have a good night. I'll talk to you soon. All right, man. Thanks for coming through, LGBT Hebrew Israelite. Mr. 93 is in the house. Mr. Fortune. And everybody that came through, St. Miguel, St. Ivan, Soldier, 144, Free Thinkers, and everybody. All right, I'm gonna call it. Have a good night. This has been revealing my DNA results live, and I'll be doing that again once I get a secondary opinion, right? A second opinion from 23andMe. I'm going to try to go through, but this has been my DNA results as far as my ancestry is concerned. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. Take care. Have a good night. I'll catch y'all on the flippity flip. Peace out. 1. San Miguel TV out.